What is up, people? We're live Monday. Might be Monday morning where you are. Not sure. Early afternoon here in just outside of lovely Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hope all your weekends were awesome. My head is still reeling from watching The Walking Dead last night. Holy crap. No, this is not going to be a Walking Dead podcast, but I just had to throw that out there. Some people out there are still, fanning themselves, including my wife, who actually walked out of watching the episode last night. If you're a Walking Dead fan, by all means, go check out my other channel. I did a review on there last night with a good friend of mine, my gnome, CM Styles, big Walking Dead fan. Just going to cover a whole slew of topics, stuff from the weekend, stuff that came out this morning. Not a lot of really big news. I really had to dig to find some stuff to talk about. Going to talk a little bit about Fastlane coming up, a little bit of Lucha news, Goldberg, Punk, Kalisto, network, new stuff on the network, and we'll wrap it up with new faces of NXT. So, all right. And it's a slow news day, seriously, when Orton selling his home is on the top of every page that I look out there for news. It's like, really? Is this is news now? It's just stop the presses. You're not going to believe this. Orton just took a dump. Print it. Seriously. Whatever. I'm not even going to talk about it. I just found it funny that it's everywhere for whatever reason. No, I did not read the article either. I just read the headline and laughed at it's actually going around. Next, big news locally for around here. Fastlane got announced this past weekend at a Milwaukee house show for the WWE. March 5th, which is going to be the last pay-per-view before next year's WrestleMania. So, and that's usually pretty big. This past Fastlane, which is this will be the second Fastlane, wasn't real big. They were scrambling, trying to put Mania together at this point still, from what I remember. Because there were so many injuries, that's why this past WrestleMania really did kind of suck. They had to bring back all the old-timers. This Mania, on the other hand, should be epic, assuming everyone stays healthy over the holiday season. So yeah, I don't care if I got to sell a kidney or part of a liver or, one of my testicles. Come hell or high water, I'm going to try to get to this WWE Fastlane show that's coming to town next year. And also heard that, quick side note for as far as pay-per-views in Milwaukee, we haven't had one since like 2012, and that was Elimination Chamber. And that's my segue into talking about Elimination Chamber. It's supposed to be coming next year. It's rumored that it's going to be thrown into February. So, I remember when they used to have, this was the last one before WrestleMania. Personally, that's what I would do, really shake it up before Mania, throw Elimination Chamber the month beforehand. I don't know what brand each show is going to be on. I haven't dived that much into to see what show consecutively should be falling on what month, but nonetheless, we'll see. I don't know. If it's Elimination Chamber, you're going to have a pretty solid show, or at least a pretty solid roster to fill up that show. I don't know if SmackDown could do that. because around that time it's going to be looking kind of thin unless we get everyone. But like I heard Dean stepping away for a bit and Cena's stepping away for a bit for that one USA show, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure everyone will be back by then, though. So yeah, I'm very excited about that show coming to town. A little bit of Lucha Underground news. Found this. They had their first. Well, I shouldn't say first. They did a house show last year. I think it was kind of testing the waters. They did it down in Texas, but they had their first of 3 shows for a tour. Excuse me. Wow. Oh, they got they got one on the 23rd, 30th, and early November, whatever that falls on, the 5th or 6th or whatever. This one was for Arizona State Fair. I'm really hoping footage comes out for this somewhere. I haven't looked on YouTube to see if anybody filmed any, but hopefully Lucha Underground was filming this. That would be great. Just running down some of the, and I usually don't talk about like house show results. I don't follow that stuff, but I love Lucha Underground. So just for shits and giggles, I looked this up just to see who was at these, because like I said, this is like testing the waters. These were free events, but they were sponsored by Cricket Wireless. So it's going to be interesting to see how well these do as far as attendance. I haven't heard a lot. Apparently they had 2 shows, but just a few matches on each show. Running this down, there was Son of Havoc beat Jack Evans. Evilise defeated Taya and Mariposa in a triple threat match. That would be incredible to watch. I did see one picture on Twitter this morning from that. It looked like a triple submission going on. That'd be cool. Johnny Mundo defeating Brian Cage in a Falls Count Anywhere match. That had to be nuts. That'd be awesome. Show 2, Drago defeating, now this is different, Australian Suicide, Aerostar, and Hector Garza Jr. No, Australian Suicide and Hector Garza Jr. are guys from AAA Mexico. As far as I know, they're not part of the show yet, but you know, they've got close ties with guys in Mexico, so I have I don't know if they're going to be part of the show coming up this season or possibly next season. I did see one match on YouTube between Mundo and Hector Garza Jr. for the one of the smaller titles in AAA, whatever title Mundo is holding right now with Taya at his side. So, but nonetheless, I'm sure that was an awesome match. A lot of good lucha stuff. Then Kevin Cross defeating Ricky Mandel. Little side note here. It says, definitely the quietest match of the day in terms of the crowd. Mandel was introduced as being from Sexy Beach. It was supposed to be the face, but neither got a huge reaction. Cross has a great look, blah, 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 blah. That's just because, you know, as far as people recognizing faces from this show and fans coming, you know, that watch it on TV, you know Mundo, you know Cage, you know a lot of the guys like Havoc, Evans, Aerostar, they you know faces like that. Kevin Cross, it just came out that he signed with them, but we haven't seen him on the show yet. Ricky Mandel's been on sporadically over the course of the last 3 seasons. So yeah, I can understand why they're not going to get big reactions, but at least, you know, fans got to see Kevin Cross at a Lucha Underground event. That's huge. That's pretty awesome. he is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future. And then the headliner was Pentagon Dark defeating Mil Muertes in a no DQ match. I'm sure that was an absolute bar burner of a match. So yeah, hopefully footage of this stuff will show up online somewhere. That would be great to see. We'll have to see what all happens at their other shows coming up this next couple weekends. Let's see what's next here. Goldberg. Quick note on Goldberg. Goldberg is training with Josh Barnett at an Affliction training facility in San Diego. He'll be back post Hell in a Cell Monday in Hartford. So he's getting ready. And it doesn't, from what it sounds like with his training that he's done, that we've seen little bits here and there, it looks like he's not going to stray too far outside of what he's comfortable doing in the ring, which is somewhat judo based, along with just being straight up kick ass. So, yeah, I'm still certainly looking forward to this. Can't wait to see what happens with that. Little note on CM Punk. Excuse me. I guess Meltzer brought him up in the podcast this morning, said something to the effect of, the thing with Punk is that according to those close to him, he would see going back to WWE as a loss in life, where Goldberg was just a businessman who had hard feelings about the past, but would have no trouble letting go of it if it was the right business deal. WWE is still suing Punk, or I shouldn't say WWE. The doctor from WWE is still suing Punk, and there might be other stuff in the courts regarding that. I'm not sure. But obviously, if Punk was to ever go back, they would have to drop those lawsuits against him. I'm not thinking too much on this. Doesn't really mean anything. Do I think he's still going to come back someday? Yeah. Is it going to be a couple years down the road? Probably. Whenever AJ Lee possibly might be thinking about having kids, well, obviously he's going to need to have a little more income in order to have kids someday with AJ Lee. So that being said, but right now they're just having fun, living high on a hog, so to speak. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not putting a whole lot of weight behind that. It's really nothing to talk about much. So Kalisto came back at a house show over the weekend. That's certainly good news. Can't wait to see him get back in the ring on TV. He's I was going to say for a second, that's right. He's not on Raw. He's on SmackDown. Whereas he should be on Raw with the cruiserweights. Because me personally, I would definitely want to see Kalisto versus TJ Perkins, Kalisto versus Brian Kendrick, Kalisto versus Lindsay Dorado, Kalisto versus fill in the blank. Any of these guys. Instead, we're getting Sin Cara, which that's fine, good for him. But, Kalisto, in my opinion, is better than Sin Cara. So that's what I want to see. Not that there can't be cruiserweights or guys his size on SmackDown, but then they're not going to be considered cruiserweights. They're just going to be there. So who knows? Maybe they'll switch it up. Maybe he's been gone for a while. Maybe they'll switch it up and throw him on Raw and do a trade for, I don't know, fill in the blank. But nonetheless, glad Kalisto's back from his injury. I forgot, honestly, that he was gone. There's been so many other cruiserweights being featured on TV. Sorry, Kalisto. Still love you. Let's see. WWE Network tonight after Raw. Special from, it's basically going to be the documentary portion of the Eric Bischoff DVD that came out earlier, or DVD that came out earlier this year. Man, I don't remember what the hell it was called. It's on my to-get list, but now that it's going to be on the network, then I don't have to buy it. But yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out. I still want to check out that interview that JBL did with Bruno Sammartino. That's still on my to-do list too, which I'll probably do a review for that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe later this week. We'll see. Wrap up this show today talking about new faces in NXT. There was an article that came out sometime last week. Tommy and Big Damo. Is it Big Damo or Big Damo? Either way, I'm screwing it up somehow. Big Damo, we'll just say. And Crazy Mary Dobson joining WWE Performance Center. 3 internationally acclaimed superstars have arrived in the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida to begin training. That's kind of a funny statement, begin training. If they're internationally acclaimed, why do they have to begin training? I'm not going to pick that apart. That just, when I read that, it's just, do you understand what I'm saying? That's like, that statement doesn't jive with itself. But nonetheless, there are a lot of new faces, and is certainly a big time for change in NXT and in their developmental program. I'm still learning a lot about Tommy End and Big Damo, 2 guys from across the pond. You can go look up some of their stuff on the ICW YouTube channel. I'm sure they got matches on there. I've seen, bits and pieces here and there. Damo's just a big brute of a guy. Kind of like Bull James, only bigger. Or Bull, what was he called? Oh, now he's called Bull James. Now he was called Bull Dempsey in NXT. Similar, except this guy is, I think, a lot more brutal. Although we didn't ever got to really see too much of a brutal side from Dempsey. Well, we did in the beginning, and then he became a joke, and then they let him go. So hopefully they won't do the same thing to this guy. Make a joke out of him, because, no one deserves that. Oh, you're fat, so let's give you a fat gimmick and have you eat a lot of Doritos and do embarrassing shit. No, just stop that. Tommy End's a great talent in the ring. Still learning about him. Go. Like I said, whenever I talk about new guys on here, and if you're not familiar with them, do what I do. Go to YouTube. Look it up, like I said, ICW amongst other things. And thirdly, Sarah or her real name is Sarah Bridges, but Crazy Mary Dobson. She's been all over the place. She's only 23. Wow. U.S., Canada, Mexico, Europe, Japan. She's been recently featured, I believe, on TNA and Ring of Honor as far as like TV wise. Competed in Shimmer. So yeah, go look her up on YouTube. Some of her matches on there. Crazy is an understatement for some of the stuff she does in the ring as far as like looks wise. I think she's kind of a screamer like Paige was. Now I'm not putting a lot of weight behind this, but I did hear something to the effect of, and I don't know who started this, but someone posted on some news site somewhere that they're considering a Sister Abigail role for Crazy Mary Dobson. She could pull it off. I have absolutely no doubt that she could pull it off. And yeah, I've talked with several of my friends on here and other channels, other podcasts, other shows about if and when they're finally going to introduce Sister Abigail. Well, out of different people associated with wrestling or in the WWE, well, this might be the best yet. I jokingly have been saying for the last at least year, saying, hey, Bray Wyatt has a real life sister, and I can't think of her name offhand right now. Is it Mika? Something like that. Nikki, Mika, whatever it is. And she basically has the jet black hair. You do her upright, she could be some freaky ghost looking chick, But yeah, maybe they'll finally put a face to Sister Abigail. And like I said, I'm not putting a lot of weight behind this. I just saw someone put it out there. I didn't see it anywhere else, but I figured I'd bring it up just to see if it gets anybody talking about this. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, it's been confirmed." No. No, just throwing that out there. But nonetheless, 3 new faces that were featured on WWE.com, along with a lot of other faces show up in NXT right now. You've got Roderick Strong, who debuted in NXT. You got Eric Young showed up with the whole Sanity crew, which is Fulton, Alexander Wolf, and Nikki Cross, another badass bitch. So, yeah, lots of, and there's so many more being featured on NXT because of the Cruiserweight Classic. So it's it's almost overwhelming, but they're going through another building phase because they had so many people get brought up from NXT to the main roster. You had American Alpha, Bailey, Mojo Rawley, all those guys. I can't think of the entire list off the top of my head right now, but nonetheless, yeah. Finn Balor. It's another one. He'll be back soon. I'm guessing Rumble, depending on recovery. We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully be back in time for. I hope he doesn't rush it. So many of these guys get injured. They rush to get back. Oh, they're going to be back sooner than expected. You keep seeing that. seriously, it's not worth it. It's not, because then, you get in the ring, you think you're set, boom, injured again, gone for another year, half a year, 2 years, or gone indefinitely, retired. It sucks. Take your time, guys. We love you, we miss you, but we want to see you back in the ring healthy. So yeah, like I said, NXT is going through a lot of big changes right now, and it's and there's good stuff going on. Not all of it is rocking the world. But Nakamura versus Joe is the big thing right now. The Dusty Classic is It's introducing a lot of new faces, but there's not a lot of real legit tag teams going on. So that, if they did what they did with the Cruiserweight Classic and actually pulled in tag teams from internationally, like they did with for example, the Bollywood Boys. Great example of a team to put in this tournament. They are an actual tag team together, but so many of these other teams are just singles competitors thrown together. I don't understand why you can't just find tag teams out there and bring them in, say like the Young Bucks, just to throw a name out there, which I'm sure will happen within the next. I'll say within the next year, because I think their contract is coming up at the end of the year or springtime with Ring of Honor and New Japan. So there's going to be a lot of faces that are going to be, being talked about as far as, so-and-so's contract is coming up. Are they going to be jumping ship and coming to the big dance? And so, yeah, just between stuff going on this past summer with the Cruiserweight Classic, different faces being rumored around in other brands, possibly jumping ship from other companies, and all the other faces that are showing up now in NXT, like I'm talking about, this next year to 2 years is going to completely change it's already changing the face of the WWE between guys being brought up, new faces, and other huge things happening around the wrestling industry. The next couple of years, you're going to get a complete shift in the roster of NXT and WWE. Different. It's just going to be a complete different chapter to the company, and it's going to be crazy. It's, I think some people are sick of the content. I think this is a big positive switch in the wrestling industry, just because so many other companies are getting recognized now. There's access to so much more out there besides the WWE. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this one. Some of this stuff was really reaching as far as, trying to pull water out of a stone as far as, news-wise. But, we'll see how the week goes. Hell in a Cell's coming up this next weekend. I'll be doing my predictions. I don't know. Maybe later tonight after Raw. We'll see. See what I feel like. I was up pretty earlier this morning. Lucha Underground, of course, coming up midweek. Do that with, Mr. Mile High Laz. And that's about it. Hell in the Cell stuff, Lucha Underground. And we're still keeping a close eye on all the TNA drama, seeing if anything big happens. Nothing really big has happened yet. There was supposed to be some earth-shattering news this morning is what I was trying to find and keep an eye out for. Someone posted something yesterday, said news was going to come out today that's going to change the wrestling industry and people's lives forever. Still waiting for it. Sorry I couldn't bring it to you because it didn't happen. But as soon as I do hear something earth-shattering like that, I'll bring it to you because that's what I do. So, much love, everyone. We'll see you in a few days for this, that, and the other thing in the world of wrestling. See ya.